I do not believe my daughter would leave her child and her family behind, period.
The disappearance of Alabama teenager Brittany Wood in 2012 captured national attention. What began as a search for a missing girl soon spiraled into the shocking revelation of a child sex abuse ring within Brittany's own family. Brittany's disappearance exposed dark secrets and led to the downfall of many close relatives she once trusted. When Brittany first went missing, the sole objective was finding her, but authorities and loved ones were oblivious to the sinister circumstances surrounding her disappearance. Her family appeared grieving and desperate to locate Brittany, all the while hiding their own monstrous acts. This script explores the tragic betrayal at the core of Brittany Wood's case. Brittany Nicole Wood grew up in Mobile, Alabama with her devoted mother, Chessie, and 2 brothers. Chessie gave birth to Brittany as a young single parent and relied on relatives to help care for her kids. The Woods were a tight-knit family. Chessie and her 4 siblings all lived nearby and supported each other. Brittany shared a special bond with her mom, whom she considered her best friend. Chessie recalled their relationship as not just mother and daughter, but as being best friends. Brittany also had a great connection with her father, Wally, and stepmother, Stephanie, though she lived primarily with Chessie. From a young age, Brittany was frequently supervised by her aunts, uncles, and adult cousins who lived just miles away. Chessie felt comfortable leaving her with the family she had known her whole life. Tragically, some would betray that trust in unthinkable ways. As a child, Brittany suffered sexual abuse for over 2 years at the hands of her grandmother's boyfriend, 53-year-old Ronald Robertson. Terrified to tell police, 11-year-old Brittany first confided in an after-school program director about the repeated abuse. The director immediately contacted authorities to investigate. Though Ronald denied the accusations, evidence supported Brittany's claims. At just 12 years old, she bravely testified against him in court. Ronald was sentenced to 25 years to life in prison for his crimes against the young girl. Brittany showed immense courage in speaking out, likely preventing other children from being victimized. Her family's heinous actions later in life should not diminish Brittany's own integrity and strength. She overcame trauma at a tender age while many adults in her life failed her. Brittany faced struggles in her teen years stemming from the childhood abuse she endured. Described as scrappy, she would throw down with anybody, according to relatives. But beneath her Spitfire exterior, Brittany battled inner turmoil. At just 17, Brittany entered an abusive relationship and became pregnant. She gave birth to a daughter named Peyton in 2017. Though the relationship failed, Brittany cherished her new role as a mother. Caring for an infant as a single teen proved challenging, however. Brittany relied heavily on family to help with her daughter Peyton. She bounced between relatives' homes without stable housing of her own. Brittany also began using drugs and carried a gun for protection, concerning choices for someone so young. Motherhood had arrived too soon for the troubled girl. Brittany clearly loved her own child deeply, having suffered childhood abuse, but she struggled to provide Peyton with the safe, nurturing environment she deserved. On May 30th, 2012, 17-year-old Brittany told her mom, Chessie, she was sleeping over at a friend's house. Instead, she left home that evening with her uncle, Donnie Holland. Donnie was the husband of Chessie's sister, Wendy, and had known Brittany since birth. Some speculate Brittany willingly met up with Donnie at a remote property to confront him. She may have wanted to discuss sexual abuse accusations made against Donnie on Facebook by one of her relatives just days earlier, but Donnie Holland was the last person to see Brittany Wood alive. In the days following Brittany's disappearance, Donnie Holland's suspicious behavior intensified the mystery. Less than 48 hours after Brittany vanished, Donnie was discovered alone in his car with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Donnie's wife Wendy and family friend Jennifer were the ones to find him clinging to life in the vehicle, parked in an isolated area. Before calling 911, Wendy deleted text messages from Donnie's phone. At the hospital, Wendy repeatedly asked the barely conscious Donnie, "Where's Brittany?" The family noticed his vital signs changing when her name was mentioned, but Donnie died shortly after, taking any secrets to his grave. Further raising suspicions, Brittany's own gun was found at the scene of Donnie's suicide attempt. Had there been a confrontation between them? Was Donnie overcome with guilt or trying to evade arrest for Brittany's disappearance? With Donnie dead, Brittany was reported missing. Her gun's presence fueled speculation she shot Donnie, then fled. But Brittany's loved ones insisted she wouldn't abandon her toddler, Peyton.
19 at the time, was last seen at her uncle's house near Styx River. That uncle, Donnie Holland, who police believed to be the prime suspect at the time, later took his own life.
Police initially treated Brittany as a runaway case, much to her mother's frustration. Chessie criticized their lack of urgency and took charge of organizing search efforts with relatives. She remained determined to find her daughter. The truth about Donnie Holland and the extended Woods family was more disturbing than anyone imagined. Brittany's disappearance blew open doors that were better left closed. Before Brittany went missing, her uncle Scott Woods had uncovered a shocking secret at the home of his sister Wendy Holland. In February 2012, Scott found inappropriate online messages sent by Wendy's husband Donnie to a young female relative. Scott reported the disturbing communication to authorities, prompting an investigation into Donnie. After moving in with sister Chessie Wood, Scott's report triggered a chain of events that exposed horrors within their family. Just weeks after Brittany vanished, multiple relatives were implicated in child sex abuse allegations. Her uncle, Donnie Holland, was now suspected to be at the center of it all. In late June 2012, Donnie's wife Wendy and her twin sister Mendy were arrested along with Mendy's husband, Dustin Kent. Wendy and Donnie's minor daughters were removed from their home after telling authorities about long-term abuse. At the end of July, 11 people were charged in the sex ring, including more of Brittany's aunts and uncles. Wendy's daughters said their parents forced them to participate in sexual activities starting at a young age. The cycle of abuse was generational, with victims growing up to become abusers themselves. Even Brittany's own brother, Derek, admitted to engaging in sexual acts with minors under pressure from adult relatives. He expressed deep remorse while emphasizing how he had been victimized first as a child. For Chessie Wood, the revelations were impossible to reconcile with the family she had lovingly trusted her whole life. She questioned how such evil could have lurked inside those who were supposed to protect Brittany and other children. Facing severe charges, most defendants in the sex abuse case opted for plea deals to avoid trials. The deals required cooperation with authorities and testimony against other family members.
Dustin Kent is taking responsibility for his actions. A week after pleading guilty to sex crimes in Baldwin County, he pleaded guilty again today in Mobile County to sodomy and rape charges after having sex with two different 13-year-old family members in 2008.
Dustin Kent pleaded guilty to rape and received a 17-year prison sentence. His wife Mendy admitted to heinous acts and was sentenced to a maximum of 40 years.
Mendy Kent is the latest member of the Wood family to take their chances in a court of law and lose. Jurors unanimously convicting her of sexually abusing a child and sodomy. The prosecution's star witness, one of the children she and others molested.
Brittany's brother Derek accepted a plea agreement with 3 years of prison time. Several others were convicted at trial, including Donnie Holland's wife, Wendy. She received a staggering 219-year sentence after her daughters were described as being abused by their parents. Wendy showed no remorse, insisting she was innocent. William Brownlee, a family friend implicated in the ring, claimed in court he was forced into the behavior, but the judge condemned his depraved, disgusting, and sickening acts by issuing a 20-year sentence, the maximum allowed. Most shockingly, even Brittany's mother, Chessie, was charged with a misdemeanor for child endangerment. But she maintained her innocence, believing she was targeted for speaking out about law enforcement's handling of Brittany's case. While Chessie awaited trial, the search for her daughter continued, but hopes of finding Brittany dwindled as the family's monstrous secrets came to light. With the sex abuse ring exposed, speculation swirled about what really happened to Brittany Wood. Many believed her uncle, Donnie Holland, held the answers. His suicide before police questioned him seemed conveniently timed. Donnie's attempt to end his life shortly after Brittany vanished appeared driven by guilt or fear of arrest. But with Donnie dead, authorities could not directly link him to Brittany's disappearance. Still, investigators considered it more than a coincidence that Donnie was the last person seen with Brittany before shooting himself. his wife Wendy's suspicious behavior in deleting texts and asking about Brittany's whereabouts at the hospital added intrigue. Some even theorized that Wendy and other relatives helped Donnie hide Brittany's body to conceal his crimes. With so many family members involved in heinous acts, a cover-up seemed plausible. But without proof, speculation yields no real answers. Brittany's mother, Chessie, tirelessly pursued clues in her daughter's case as the years passed. She partnered with producers on a 2021 documentary series she hoped might uncover new information. Chessie vowed to never stop searching until her dying breath, though hopes of finding Brittany alive faded. At age 56 in 2024, the devoted mother still seeks closure 2 decades after her daughter went missing. The sheriff lamented, "Closure will only come when Miss Wood's killer or killers are indicted and Miss Wood's body is located." For Chessie and those who loved Brittany, the painful journey toward that closure continues. Brittany Wood's disappearance exposed shocking secrets hiding within an outwardly close-knit Alabama family. Her disappearance unearthed a child sex abuse ring involving numerous relatives entrusted with her care. In the aftermath, Brittany's loved ones were left grappling with an unthinkable betrayal. The manhunt for a missing girl devolved into a takedown of her own family's criminal depravity. For Chessie Wood, what began as a desperate search for her daughter became a quest for justice, one that remains unfinished decades later. The tragic saga leaves us wrestling with difficult questions. How could a beloved child end up being preyed upon by relatives? Were there warning signs missed or whispers that were ignored? Does familial love ever justify complicity in such darkness? Brittany's bright spirit and courage despite childhood trauma should not be overshadowed. Her memory deserves more than association with the family's disgraceful secrets. She represents countless victims failed by trusted adults who should know better. Perhaps the lesson from this painful case will empower society to prevent such harm to the vulnerable. If any good can come, it will be through refusal to look the other way and commitment to protect those who cannot protect themselves. The tragic story of Brittany Wood leaves us with more questions than answers. Considering the abuse allegations, do you believe law enforcement reacted urgently enough when Brittany first disappeared? Should officials have investigated her Uncle Donnie's death more thoroughly early on? Do you think any perpetrators received adequate punishment? What responsibility did adults who failed to intervene bear? If you suspect any child is endangered, speak up and report it. You could save innocent lives. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel for the latest true crime updates. The more awareness we spread, the more watchful our communities become. Until next time, stay safe out there.